learn. How many of us are in JHS, junior high school? Okay, just a few of us. How many of us are in SA? Oh, JHS. Are you writing BC? Not yet. But like you wouldn't have come for today's program, isn't it? You'll be hiding somewhere studying. All right. SHS students. All right. And my university people. Tertiary students. Okay. All right. So this is a good representation of the youth of Ghana. We have people in JHS. We have people in SHS. We have people in senior high. At the tertiary level as well. I heard someone from Eugene. Someone from. Do you have anyone from UPSA? Nobody from KNUST. Where is my good friend? My friend I met from KNUST the other time. As a young lady I met at the other session. Where is it? Is Peace here? Okay, yeah, I can see you. Yeah, please, KNUST. Okay. And then I had someone from All Nations as well. And then my Prempeh College friend is also there. I can see your face very well. All right, so we want to talk about the power of self-confidence. So we want to talk about the power of self-confidence. The power of self-confidence. That's a very important topic for me because self-confidence is so important. Self-confidence is so crucial, so crucial. If we talk about self-confidence, is one thing that is really crucial. So what makes self-confidence so important? Why should we spend our time, like my time this morning, to talk about self-confidence? Why should we talk about self-confidence? One thing I want you to note about self-confidence is that self-confidence is one of the most important qualities of highly successful people. Self-confidence is one of the most important qualities of highly successful people. Every highly successful person you meet anywhere in the world is usually a self-confident person. I heard a very great speaker, a very great author, Dr. John C. Maxwell. You don't need to write his name, just listen. He said something that he has seen people who didn't believe in themselves who have not gone anywhere. Okay? He has seen many people who do not believe in themselves who have not gone anywhere in life. But he has never seen anybody who has made it in life who doesn't believe in himself. He has seen many people who do not believe in themselves who have not gone anywhere in life. That's normal. But he has never seen or met anybody who has made it big in this life or has become successful who does not believe in himself. If you think about that quote, that tells you that the key thing to making it in life, or the key thing to getting up there in terms of levels of success, is to believe in yourself. You know, sometimes when you say believe in yourself, people think that, what are you talking about? Are you saying that I should be proud? There's a difference between being proud and being self-confident. A self-confident person is not a proud person. You can be confident and still be the most humble soul on this planet. So there's a big difference between, because most of the time when someone is confident, sometimes people mistake confidence for pride or for arrogance. So they say, guy, you're a drapper, say, that kind of thing. But the person may just be confident. All right, I have a friend, a young lady. I started speaking in schools since 2014. So I've been going around speaking in some of the schools in this nation. And I spoke with a girl many years ago. She went to Wesley Girls. She's actually a law student currently, third-year law student at the University of Ghana. And, online, while she was chatting with me, she used to call me uncle and all that. Now she's a big girl. So she just said, hi, Daniel. Initially, she said, I'm an African. So I was wondering, that's what I thought. Then, my mind told me, no. You see, she's just being confident in the sense that she's become more exposed. And if you've lived abroad or you have lived in a foreign culture, they use first names. Okay? I did my national service at Joy FM, multimedia broadcasting. And when I went there, everybody calls themselves by first names. I was calling my boss Kofi. My boss was Kofi, who I'll say Kofi. Kojo Nkrumah, who was my boss as well, who is now the Minister of Education. Minister of Information, not Education. I was calling Kojo. But it was difficult for me at first because why? I'm not used to that as an African. If you don't say bra, they'll say you don't respect. Are you getting it? Okay. But I had to see the difference between confidence and arrogance. Just to see that, okay, this lady friend of mine, Kezia, Kezia was just being confident because she's become so exposed since then. She recently won an award, a national award and all that. She's probably become confident. She's interacted with whites. She's interacted with people of other cultures. And she's used to first name basis. After all, on my Facebook, my name is not Pastor Daniel Adraku or Mr. Daniel. My name on Facebook is Daniel Koshi Adraku. So if it says Daniel, she may not necessarily be disrespectful. Right? So self-confidence is different from being proud. So self-confidence is one of the most important qualities of very highly successful people. Number two is that without self-confidence, you can never reach high levels of success. That's why it's important to talk about self-confidence. Without self-confidence, you cannot reach high levels of success. You can never reach high levels of success without self-confidence. And number three thing to note about self-confidence is that self-confidence, it's good news for everybody, is that self-confidence can be acquired. Self-confidence can what? Be acquired. If I said that self-confidence was something you were born with or you have to be born with, then that may be bad news for some people because you may not be feeling that confident. So you just conclude that, well, then I wasn't born with self-confidence. But the good news is that self-confidence is something that can be acquired. I want to share a very important quote on self-confidence with you. It's from a woman called Eleanor Roosevelt. I want you to write it down. Her name is Eleanor Roosevelt. Roosevelt is spelled Roosevelt. Eleanor Roosevelt. She's a former First Lady of the United States many years ago. She was the First Lady of the U.S. And she said something which I want you to remember. She said that no one can make you feel inferior without your permission. Can we say that together? She said, no one can make you feel inferior without your permission. That's Eleanor Roosevelt, former U.S. First Lady. No one can make you feel inferior without your permission. What that means, that quote, as short as it is very loaded. What it means is that it is up to you to either be confident or not be confident. It means that you have a personal responsibility to develop your self-confidence. Because no one can make you feel inferior without your permission. Without your permission. It means that for someone to make you feel so inferior or look down on yourself, it means that you permitted that person. It means that there's something within you. I always say that self-confidence is an inside job. It's not an outside job. It comes from inside out. It doesn't come from outside. It has to come from within. I'll talk a bit about dressing as I speak, but dressing is not what gives you self-confidence. Actually, your confidence may even determine how you dress from within. But it's not the dress that gives you the confidence. So our slave queens and I don't know whether they are slave kings, like my pastor was saying recently. That's not what makes you confident at all. If you're already not confident, you're not confident. You have to develop it. So no one can make you feel inferior without your permission. Now let's come to what is self-confidence. When we talk about self-confidence, what is it? What are we talking about? Is it the same as being proud? Is it the same as being arrogant? Like I have said, that is not the case. Self-confidence, to be self-confident, is to accept and appreciate who you are. To accept and appreciate who you are. That's what it means to be self-confident. To accept and appreciate who you are. What does it mean when you say who you are? Who are you? Who you are talks about what you can do and what you cannot do. Talks about how you look. Talks about where you come from. All these comes together to be who you are. There are people in this nation who feel that, okay, I'm from northern Ghana. My language is quite heavy. I'm shy. I can't speak my language. That is a sign of low self-confidence. Because who you are, if you are a frafra, that is who you are. Nothing can change the fact that you are a frafra. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with being a frafra. There's absolutely nothing wrong with being a Dagati. There's absolutely nothing wrong with being an Ashanti. No tribe is more superior to another. Okay, so when I say that self-confidence or to be self-confident is to accept who you are, to accept and appreciate who you are. And I am saying that who you are includes the things you can do, the things you cannot do. It includes where you come from. That's talking about your language. Where you come from, who you are. In terms of your tribe, you don't have to be ashamed of speaking your language. You don't have to be ashamed of your tribe. Because that is part of who you are. You don't have to be ashamed of the fact that you are black, as in an African, because that is part of who you are. People take pride in when they even get a foreign call. They take pride in getting the foreign call because it's coming from America. But when they get a call from Kaswa, they think that that is not. So there's no swag in that. Okay, but truth is that America is as important as Kaswa or any place in Ghana because it is part of the earth. Is that okay? It's part of the earth. So self-confidence involves accepting who you are, my dear friends. Just accepting who you are just the way the Lord made you. It doesn't mean that if you have weaknesses, you don't work on the weaknesses. But the truth is that if you spend all your days focusing on your weaknesses, you will not go anywhere in life. You'd have to focus on your strength, and I'll come to that. So what does it mean to be self-confident? It means that you should accept and appreciate who you are. And I said who you are includes what you can do, what you cannot do, because you can do everything. What I mean by what you can do is your abilities, the strengths, the gifts God gave you. What you cannot do are your weaknesses, the things you cannot do. You can do everything. You see, I believe God gave us weaknesses and strengths so that we'll be humble people. Can you imagine that you were born with strengths only? You have no weaknesses. You can play football, you can play American football, you can play the regular British football that we know as soccer or football. You can play tennis. You can do everything in the world. And you don't need any other person. Are you not going to be a proud person? You're going to become proud. So God gave you strengths so that you will become what he ordained you to be. Because your strengths will help you there. That's what the Bible says, the gifts and the callings of God are without repentance. He didn't say just the callings, but the gifts and the callings. The gifts go together with the callings. Behind every calling, there is a gift that will empower you to fulfill the calling. Is that okay? All right, so God gave you strengths. But then God also gave you weaknesses so that you appreciate other people. So that relationships become complementary. Like I heard the very good speaker, Vanessa, speech. She's a very good speaker. Spoke very well. Yeah, Vanessa, isn't it? Okay, spoke very. I took note of you because you speak very well. Very well, that's good. Okay, maybe one day you'll be a speaker who will inspire people around the world. Okay? All right. I'm not prophesying, please. I'm just saying, it's just an observation. All right. But I think that she has a gift and she has to make use of that gift. Okay? All right. So, like I'm saying, you have things you can do. She can speak. That's what God gave her. But she can do everything. There are things that Vanessa is weak at. So, in her relationships, there are strengths she will bring in her area of strength, and there are the other friend will also bring their area of strength to complement your weakness. Even in getting married, you realize that that's how God arranges it. Okay? You realize that your wife, I talk a lot. My wife is very quiet. Because God has to give me someone who will listen to me to talk. Because she also doesn't like talking. You want someone to talk who can listen to. Okay? So that's the balance. You get it? So God gave us strengths so that we will appreciate and become what he wants us to be. And he also gave us weaknesses so that we will respect other people. Do we get that? Is that okay? All right. Now, what are the causes of low self-confidence? When you go to a doctor will diagnose your problem, diagnose whatever sickness it is before he recommends a drug. No doctor, even if you are pregnant. My wife has been pregnant before. I have children, so definitely I have experience in that. I can say that when you go, even when you go and tell them you're pregnant, they do the test again to confirm. They do a scan to see, okay, how old is the pregnancy and all that. Okay, every good doctor will do a diagnosis to see what the problem is. Is it malaria? Should I give you this? Should I give you that? Are you getting it? They have to test you first. So before we come to how we can develop self-confidence, like I said, we are talking about the power of self-confidence. We need to look at what are the causes of low self-confidence, or what are the things that cause low self-confidence. Are we okay with that? Okay. So one of the things that causes low self-confidence is the social background, your social background, where you come from. You know, if you don't come from a very rich home, already there are so many things against you. You know, you go to a place and you see very rich kids and all that. And some people, you know, even on Facebook, like I say, people take selfies usually when they are in very nice places. Have you realized that? Nobody sits. Someone lives in Nima, right on the gutter, okay? And on the big gutter in Nima. But they'll never take a selfie there. Okay? When they go to East Legon or Airport Hills or Trasaco Valley, or any of the nice places, or Spintex, or somewhere that is nice, they will just take a selfie. And because you don't know their house, you think that's where they live. That's their house. Are you getting it? Okay, because your social background has an impact on your level of confidence. It can affect you. Your race, even being black, sometimes can affect your confidence.